Alrighty, Mr. Wiener, let me tell you just a little bit about this game called Fortnite. What Fortnite is, it's a game that was released a little bit ago, last year, 2017, on July 25th. Uh, there was two main developers on this project. It was People Can Fly and then Epic Games. Epic Games took the lead role and went ahead and developed this game and kind of released it to the general public last year. What this is, it's a player versus player game. What that means is that there's people online who fight each other online. You have the option to either, do solo, duos, or squad. So 4v4 or 4 versus everybody, 2 versus everybody, or just by yourself versus everybody else. This game consists of 100 people per match, so it's a fairly big game when you actually hop online to the online servers and decide to play. Just a little bit of background on this game and how it's set up. Fortnite is set in a contemporary Earth, kind of like a parallel universe where a sudden appearance of a worldwide storm causes at least 98 of the world's population to disappear or die. So basically, because of that, you're one of the last people alive. Kind of the scenario in each match is that you're the last 100 people to survive, and now your main goal is to, just survive everybody else, either by killing each other or just outlasting everybody else. As time goes by, there is a storm that kind of is highlighted on a map in this game, and it's kind of around you. So as time goes by, it gets smaller and smaller. This causes everybody to condense down into a smaller area, and it forces all the gameplay to condense down to a single area. That way the game can actually go through and end in an appropriate time frame instead of just kind of like drawing out for a while. So that's just a little bit of what this game is, and now I'm going to talk about a little bit how it fits into our economy terms that we've talked about in class. Now for this game, I want to start off by saying that in order to win this game, you do have to get a lot of materials. These materials are everywhere around the map, and the price to get these materials are actually the risks that you take. The materials you can find anywhere really in the map. You can find them from other players, you can find them in parts of the map. They're always going to be there, but depending on how populated that area is and depending on how far in the game you are, is going to determine the price. And like I said again, the price is going to be the risk that you take to get these materials. These materials can consist of anything like building materials to defend yourself, like wood, steel, or brick, or your guns that you retrieve, or ammunition, health, and armor packs. This is me playing very early game. This is only about 3 minutes into the game, so right now it's crucial for me to go ahead and get materials in order to fend off other people. Right now in the game, there's a surplus of materials that just started. That means when the supply exceeds the demand. This also means that prices will fall. The price is the risk. There is almost little to no risk right now getting materials because nobody else has a weapon. Of course, that will shift once more and more players get weapons a little bit farther into the game. But right now, since there's so many materials and it just started, there is no risk because nobody else has a gun or any weapons as a matter of fact. That doesn't change until a little bit later in the game when more people start getting guns and more people get situated for the game and prepare for mid-game. But also, since it is so early in the game, that does mean that this is going to be an inelastic demand. What that means, the demand does not or changes little to none due to the change in price. Even if the price were to go up dramatically because, let's say, somebody else already got a gun before you, you're still going to be focused on getting some of those materials due to that surplus. It doesn't matter if you're being chased with somebody with a shotgun. You want to get a gun to fend off somebody else because it's a necessity. It's one of those elastic demands that you need to get a gun in order to fend yourself off. That surplus is still there, but so is that inelastic demand. So now you're just focused on getting that gun to fend yourself off and to hopefully get a little bit farther into that game. Now, just in case you haven't noticed, this game is pretty free-flowing. What I'm trying to say is that I can pretty much do whatever I want in this game. With little to no consequences. Of course, I might mess up and die, but that's besides the point. This game allows me to do whatever I want, as in build, create, and kill people, just according to the game I was made. But this kind of means that the template that this game kind of follows is an anarchy type system. What an anarchy means is that it's a system with no rules. Some people say this is a very violent system, and this game does attest to that. Everybody can do whatever they want, and I can do whatever I want. Like right here, I'm going ahead and just go to chase somebody right now with a shotgun, and there's no consequences for me to doing this because this is anarchy. I can do whatever I want with no consequences. Of course, if I mess up and miss that shot right there, I would have died, but I didn't because I'm just amazing at this game. One of the few problems that really stand out in this game is the shortage of supplies. Right here, you can see a bunch of players landing in the same spot. with me here. Uh, Basically, what's going to happen in the first 10-20 seconds of this game, all the supplies are going to be gone because there was such a shortage. The demand really exceeded the supply in this moment of the game. Um, Now you're going to see me right here giving into what I call the elastic demand. That's when the demand changes a lot relative to the change in price. Right now, the price and all of the supplies are going to be extremely high just because of the risk that I'm about to take is going to be really high. So instead of me going out there and giving into that price, I am really just going to hide. I'm going to hide. I don't have any other choice. I don't want to pay that price, uh, even though I kind of give into it. And this is what happens when you give into that price. You die. The price was so high. The risk was too high. I couldn't afford it, and I died. Once you go a little bit more into this game, you see a couple more examples of what happens when there is just another shortage. You know, the demand exceeds the supply. Myself, I don't have any supplies to last this game. So what ends up happening is that other players who were able to get all the supplies are able to outplay me, and they're able to kill me because I don't have anything. The price is just too high for me to even try to get supplies. So ultimately what happens is that you just die and you go into the next game and you try again. Now my last 2 points kind of do go hand in hand. I want to talk about the opportunity cost. The opportunity cost, basically, it's this is the things that you give up when you make any kind of decision. Right now in the game, I'm deciding that I want to build cover. That takes up some of my resources. For example, right now I'm actually using brick resources, a mixture of brick and wood. So right now I do have to give up at least 10 pieces of wood in order to build this infrastructure. So I'm actually giving away some of my things in order to build stuff. Luckily, that does actually tie hand in hand with the cost-benefit analysis. This is when you consider something that this is when you consider what you'll get, kind of like the benefits versus what you give up. So hey, my that little piece of infrastructure that I just made actually cost 10 pieces of wood, but I'll get at least 100 health points worth of cover, which is pretty much the equivalent of 5 bullets. So I'm dodging 5 bullets in order to get away and win this game. It was also really interesting to see how a lot of these vocabulary words that we did go over in class do really tie into this game. I played this game a lot, and I never actually thought about it in, the type of economy way. And it's really nice to see how you can actually kind of learn a lot about a game just looking at its economy and see how that all works. I just want to say, using all the vocabulary words kind of did help me earn this victory royale, just because, I'm amazing. Other than that, these were my vocabulary words that I decided to choose for this project. And I think it did pretty well. Other than that, Mr. Wiener, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see my grade soon, and I'll see you in class.